Leslie, you can take it away.
Can you bear with me one moment? I actually don't have the stream open. I just like having the visual there, and even though I read from the script.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think that's the same line. I thought we stopped off.
Is this not the correct save file?
Oh yeah, that is totally not the correct save file.
Yeah, I believe
okay.
we ended right when Amicus went to
Load.
quote-unquote work.
The one we need is I'm able to nap for 2 hours, after which I walk through the halls though at a much slower pace than usual.
Yes, it should be a morning scene.
Yeah.
Is it this one? There we go. It was literally right next to it.
No harm done.
I'm able to nap for a few hours, after which I walk through the halls, though at a much slower pace than usual. I take a good look at everything, remembering I walk past the meditation room and I pause before opening the door. I made up with Amicus here after our fight a year ago. Was it? Oh, a year ago? This is also where I accidentally got high on some somni Cassius had been smoking. The main reason I opened the door, though, is because I'm curious if any of the plant is lying around. Maybe try to connect with the monitor myself. I don't see any, and remembering Cassius's horrible experience gets me to give up pretty fast, not wanting to be tormented by the monitor because I didn't follow their plan correctly. I head out into the gardens like usual, taking in the beauty of the arranged foliage for the last time. I remember my first morning here with Alex. He'd been so helpful and kind, and I feel some sadness at the idea that I'll probably never see him again. It's dulled a bit as I also remember that he'd only been sizing me up for manipulation even then. While I feel our friendship had been partially genuine, I know that what he has done is something I can never forgive, even though Cassius was able to. I head back in for a light breakfast, sitting on Amicus's usual bed. I watch the screens as I do, not surprised to see Amicus's face pop up a few times. He is the Emperor after all, but I am surprised to see my own face, and I know immediately they're talking about us, speculating. I tell Calm to turn it off and sit there for a bit, thinking back on what had happened in this room. As always, my eyes are drawn to the dark wine stain on Cassius's bed, something that remained even after a deep cleansing. It hasn't been replaced, likely because Cassius doesn't really live in the palace anymore. Of course, it always brings to mind the moment he drank the poisoned wine. The day we'd all sat there, knowing something was wrong, yet Cassius still trusted Kato enough to never suspect an assassination attempt. It probably wasn't even to convince him. It probably wasn't even to convict him in a trial, but all would have known. Even now, I'm not sure why I handed the wine to him, knowing it would end badly, knowing I should spill it, just like I did my first time serving. Yet I did as I was told, almost like a robot, maybe because I had been conditioned to do whatever the wolves told me. I don't blame Cassius for staying away from the palace after what he went through. An assassination attempt resulting in a medically induced coma does things to the mind, according to him. I wonder if that includes forgiving a spy that's partially responsible for dozens of deaths. Feeling slightly nauseous, I send the rest of my food back. I decide not to think about Alex anymore, feeling like the cat had never gotten what he deserved. I need to distract myself until Amicus gets back, so I head for the baths. It's become part of my routine, and the part I always look forward to the most for a couple of reasons. First, it's just nice to soak, and second, because I see the person I often run into here. He soaks in the pool, head leaning back against the edge, eyes closed. While I may have lost my friendship with Alex, I've gained a great one with Neferu. Good thing too, considering he's the only other sapient that's regularly in the palace during the day. I walk over to the benches, beginning to strip off my robe, glancing at the jackal.
You know, it's not safe to fall asleep in the bath.
Neferu shifts, raising an eyebrow even though he keeps his eyes closed.
I appreciate your concern, but I feel that the sensation of water filling my lungs would be sufficient to wake me. And I was not asleep. I was awaiting your arrival.
I walk up to the edge of the pool, Neferu turning his head to look back at me, not even glancing at my naked groin.
Really? I didn't think you'd be here. Amicus told me he had a Chemian meeting to go to.
Briefly, I feel a little upset at the idea that Neferu might stay at the palace to see me while Amicus wouldn't. But only briefly. Things are different for the Emperor.
Luckily for me, my presence is no longer requested at such meetings. It matters little. I have direct access to the Emperor anyway.
I sigh.
Choose your words carefully in front of the Emperor's fiancée.
Why must you think I always speak in innuendos?
Because you do.
I jump into the pool. It's not something I usually do, and I'm reminded why as my entire body begins to burn for a few moments. It's worth it though, as I come up and see that I've accomplished my goal of splashing Neferu, the jackal in the middle of pawing water from his eyes.
I must say, you become more like him every day.
I move to the bench to sit beside the jackal, my eyes stinging from the salty spring water.
Because I'm more willing to shut you up?
Yes, crude like the wolves, having to resort to physical methods because they can't use their words properly.
I narrow my eyes.
Well, talk enough shit, then you're gonna get hit. Humans are the same, and I have the feeling jackals are too.
How would you know? I've never raised a paw against anyone on this moon.
Probably because you wouldn't stand a chance. And also, I've seen you fight. First with Alex, and remember you accepted a spar with Amicus a few months ago.
I seem to have forgotten.
Well, I haven't. You took all your clothes to tease him, then got floored in like seconds.
He struck me in the stomach when I was not ready, and very hard, mind you. Their combat techniques are crude as their words.
You weren't ready because you were still using your words after the fight had started.
Even though the incident had been a little worrying at the time, I find it mostly funny now, and I smirk at the memory.
How is that funny? I had to check into hospital to make sure he didn't rupture anything. It was very dangerous to do such a thing in what was supposed to be a friendly spa.
I think it was the way you went from snowboarding to making the weirdest noises after you fell on the ground.
Amicus probably did take out a lot of his built-up frustration in that attack. Unfortunately, it resulted in even more tension between the two of them, which makes things difficult because I like them both. I guess Neferu at least still talks official business with Amicus. Neferu huffs.
And like that blow, bringing that up is rather low of you.
He's right. My mood is a bit strange today, and just like with Virginia, I find myself being more blunt. I shrug.
Well, so making shitty comments about all wolves.
Neferu sighs loudly, seemingly at a loss for words. A rare sight. I start to feel a bit guilty and clear my throat, changing the subject to the subject I'm not really sure how to explain to the jackal.
So, I'm leaving too.
Neferu's eyes light up.
So I've heard, which is why I wanted to be sure that I would see you today, though I'm starting to regret it considering your mood.
I slump against the ledge.
Sorry, I'm feeling weird today. I'm just overwhelmed with everything that's happening.
Well, you'll be returning, won't you?
Yeah, just not sure when that might be.
Obviously, Amicus wouldn't have told Neferu about our situation. Maybe if the parents directed him to. I guess it was Virginia who told him I'm leaving.
This is a temporary trip, is it not? You are engaged to be married, after all.
I shift a little under his intense gaze.
Yeah, but I miss my planet. I just need to be home for a while, so it might be a while.
Neferu is quiet for a moment.
Does a while mean weeks? Months?
I look away, over the surface of the steaming water.
Maybe a bit longer.
Years.
It's more of a statement than an answer. Then a question, sorry.
Maybe.
Well, I must say that I was rather shocked to hear of your sudden plans for departure, that you would not tell me earlier.
I half-heartedly will the parents to send me a signal that I can just tell Neferu everything. But like always, all is quiet in space.
But now I'm less surprised, considering that it sounds like you, yourself, did not realize you would be leaving so soon.
I just didn't know how to tell you.
Mm-hmm. That, or you're hiding something.
I look at him.
What?
Oh, Marco, you're not nearly as subtle as you think. Like I said, you're becoming more like Amicus every day.
What do you mean?
Well, your sudden interest in galactic affairs, for one, but mostly, it's your mere presence here in the first place. It makes little sense.
Oh, yeah?
I kind of hope that Neferu figures it out on his own, considering that would dodge the issue of me telling anyone.
Oh, yes. If I were to guess, you are currently being trained by Adastra to assimilate your people with the children of the wolves.
I physically recoil at the idea, even though he's incredibly close.
What? Hell no. I would never do that to my people, or to any people.
Despite Amicus being emperor, and despite his slow but steady improvements for the Wolven children, it's still not a situation I would put Earth in willingly. Neferu raises his eyebrow, again, seemingly convinced by my reaction. We regard each other for a moment, and Neferu blinks first.
So, you really won't tell me?
I didn't say I have a secret to tell, though. You're just assuming.
Honestly, I'm a bit hurt that you feel you can't trust me with this information after all this time.
Now I raise an eyebrow.
Neferu, you haven't told me anything about your own situation on your planet along with your family.
Well, you've never asked.
Because I know it's personal. You dodged the topic whenever I brought it up.
It's a very long story, first of all, and second of all, it's a story about me being a selfish, foolish brat. Of course I wouldn't want to tell you. But if I tell you, would you tell me?
I think, somewhat tempted to make him tell his story, then just lie about mine, but only for a second. I sigh.
No, I'll only be able to when I come back.
Neferu's impish nature deflates pretty quick.
Well, at least you're honest. I suppose I'll trust you that it's rather important and not my place to know. I admit that I am still hurt by all this. That's not something I admit often.
Sorry, I promise you'll understand once I'm back.
Again, I wonder if I'm already admitting too much.
But years? I can't predict where I'll be in that amount of time.
Back on Kemia?
Possibly, if all goes well.
I'll visit. I'm a citizen, remember?
Well, they rarely allow use of the stretch for only visits, but being the Emperor's husband might make that easier.
Yeah, I'll convince him.
That seems to bring the issue of my sudden departure to a close. We sit there in silence for a long while. Then I place a hand on Neferu's knee. It's not something I would have done in the past, considering the Jackal's reputation, but nothing about this feels sensual. Instead, I do it out of pure solidarity and friendship.
And I wanted to say thank you, Neferu, for everything. I don't think I'd be alive if you weren't there for me. I know you had your reasons, everyone did, but thank you.
It is the duty of all Chemians to protect any sapient fleeing woven violence, whether they be sibling, child, or as you happen to be, abandoned.
I'll believe that after I visit Kemia and have a look through this.
I'll be your tour guide.
And Neferu, you can still tell me what's going on with your family if you want.
Definitely not. Do you really want to know? The situation is complex, unresolved, and seems to always be changing.
I mean, yeah, I like to know. Seems really important to you, but...
It feels unfair that I make him tell his... It seems unfair that I'd make him tell me his clearly painful story without my own.
Again, when I'm back, we can trade.
Deal.
Neferu stands up, stepping up onto the bench before reaching down to pull me up.
Now let's go for a walk before your wolf returns. I would like our last conversations to be of happier things.
I take his paw, letting him pull me up. Then the two of us step out of the pool to towel off and dress. Neferu is easily able to shift the conversation to things that are light and interesting, and it almost makes me forget that I'm leaving.
And so this Wolverine actually believes that the Imperial family would even consider apologizing for the war. Absolutely asinine, if you ask me.
Sounds reasonable.
Wow. No, Marco, it's not. He suffered the heaviest casualties.
Wasn't it started by the Empire?
No, it was started by the King's provocation. Haven't you learned the history?
Well, yeah, but attacking a planet full of sapient children wasn't the best way to respond.
We attacked the King's bases with weaponry which happened to be on the planet full of children. They were never fired on directly.
So says the Adastra history books.
Ugh. Why would you assume that? It's not a good argument to just whip out assumptions that these are lies. My father never lied.
I'm basing it off what I've learned from Chemian history as well. Not only learning about Adastra, you know.
Amicus is quiet, but still looking huffy, so I lean over from my side of the couch to touch his shoulder.
Listen, I'm not saying your father is a liar, or I'm saying that sapiens as a whole are. I know because humans did the exact same thing when we read our history.
You should have a bit more pride in your species. How you will lead the humans otherwise?
Actually, I think pride is the biggest golden problem.
Amicus just goes quiet. I think I hit a sore spot talking about his dad, and although I'm enjoying our usual somewhat intense banter, I don't have as much energy as usual.
Sorry, I shouldn't talk about things I don't understand.
Neferu, Amicus looks at me with surprise. Sorry.
What? No, I don't want you to talk to me about these things. I might seem upset, but I've already told you I enjoy debating.
I wave away Amicus's rush to smooth things over.
No, me too. I'm just a little tired today.
Ah,
What I want to talk about is what's about to happen to me, about how I'm starting to lose my courage at the last minute, how I don't want to do anything except stay on this couch. But I can tell Amicus doesn't. He came in with the stories of the day right away, as if this isn't our last night together. While it had been easy to pretend with Neferu, it's much more difficult seeing Amicus put on such an act too. I assume make me feel better.
Amicus, I don't know if I can.
Amicus suddenly holds up a paw.
wait, Margot. I know, but please, let's have this night together. I promise you, the situation will become clearer for you. Just give it a little more time.
This gives me pause. It's like Amicus knows something that I don't.
And trust me, because we are traveling back to Earth together, we will have plenty of time to discuss whatever you wish.
Amicus's eyes start to glisten just slightly as he holds back tears, then clears his throat.
But for now, I think it's preposterous that they expect me to apologize.
I watch Amicus for a long time, realizing that he might be right. He's in constant contact with the parents, and I've respected the fact that he can't tell me what they say unless given specific permission to do so. And though the feelings are unnerving, there is also some comfort in the idea that maybe something will happen, something will help me at the last minute, and Amicus seems to know that. On top of that, he knows how hard this is going to be. We both do. But he wants to save the tears for the end, and so do I. So...
Wait, what? Where are we at?
Did we miss something? Did I skip?
Can you say what line you had again?
Yeah, I read that, and though the feeling is unnerving, I just finished that line.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. I was like, oh my goodness, what?
On top of that, he knows how hard this is going to be. We both do. But he wants to save the tears for the end. And so do I. So,
Well, if it's just the Imperial family apologizing, that's actually asking for very little to create an alliance.
It's one of the many demands, and they simply want to humiliate us. All because Neferu managed to get his balls kicking in.
I mean, the Pharaoh's son. You should honestly consider yourself lucky no one else saw you hit him.
He wasn't easy one to hit. What does he suspect, always leaving himself wide open? He deserved it. Both times.
I sigh.
Be nice, Amicus.
But I lean into him, and he finally pulls me into his lap, nuzzling my hair. We talk for a while longer, the two of us trying to stay awake as long as possible. I finally managed to relax a bit, and finally my eyes grow heavy, and Amicus's warm breath puffs steadily against my head. I imagine this moment folding into a pocket of infinity, made to go on forever. Our responsibilities gone, becoming trials never to arrive. But time doesn't march on, because without realizing it, I start to fall asleep.
You are on the right path.
I gasp blindly at the sound of his voice. Help me. Or maybe that should be Nox.
Help me. I don't know what to do.
My feet slide quietly along the rug and marble, leaving Amicus behind on the sofa.
Apologies for the extended silence.
But why? I don't know what I'm doing.
But you do.
I walk deliberately in the direction I know to go, my only destination being the furious twitching. Sorry, my only distraction being the furious twitching in my left eyelid.
You needed time to learn about yourself, to learn about the Alexios, to steel your resolve, and now you are ready to forge ahead.
But I'm not.
Then... would you like to glance through the eyes of the parents to see what lies ahead?
Yes? How do I even begin?
Instructions for the first steps in your assignment will be given upon your arrival back on Earth.
But
What we want to show you is instead what is possible, what is guaranteed if you follow all of our instructions.
He senses my confusion.
Instead of telling you, we can show you.
My left eyelid flutters. Everything starts to fade. 8 years pass by in a cosmic microsecond. I return to Adastra a changed man. I find Amicus changed as well. What does...
Leslie, can I ask Ewok to do this one?
Oh, sure.
Okay. 8 years pass. 8 years pass by in a cosmic microsecond. You return to Adastra, a changed man. You find Amicus changed as well. What does not change are the feelings between you. Thread connecting you and your wolf never breaks, never wavers. A constant reminder of where you belong. And when you see him again, you will know this. You will spend the rest of your life with Amicus. A long life. You worry that what is ahead is too difficult. Instead, the worst is far, far behind you, and will only grow more distant with the slow passage of time. You marry Amicus. You travel the galaxies with him, always by his side, never to be separated again as you continue your work. You see creatures and civilizations that no human before you could have ever dreamt of. You experience much. Some of it is difficult and painful, but most of it is beautiful. You carry these experiences with you for the rest of your life. You see Neferu again. You work with him, and he will become your closest ally. And then, you return to Adastra 40 years later, your work complete. But much more time is ahead of you. You make full use of it. You and your wolf change Adastra for the better. Power will shift from the imperial family as Amicus reforms the fabric of Adastrian politics. You and your wolf will have more time with each other, and within 100 years, the imperial family will formally relinquish its hold on the moon. You spend most of your time with Amicus, and some of your time alone. But all of it is time well spent. He takes you to the lake. He takes you to the city. And 200 years after you first met Amicus, you both retired to a villa on the countryside. You grew old together. For the last 50 years of your life, you create even more experiences with him, somehow just as exciting as the ones in your youth. You defy all expectations and live nearly 300 years. And when the inevitable happens, you slip through the next plane easily, ending this life in his arms. The smell of lavender, and the last sense you experience. And then, only a few decades later, your wolf joins you in the amalgamation. You will mingle there for eternity, living the best moments of your life. With your wolf. forever.
I come to slowly on the floor under the archives. My vision is blurry, and I reach up to wipe away tears. Even now, I feel the incredible warmth and happiness that seemed to overflow from my chest as I lived that. What was that? My future? I'm not sure what to think right now, but for the first time in months, I feel completely at peace. This is my future. I need this future. The sight and feelings were so vivid, so beautiful. I need that life with Amicus. Even though it felt as if the parents were stringing me along with the promise of reward, I also felt the feelings of my future self. I truly believed in what I was doing, or I guess will believe. I had mixed and melded with so many different times that I'm a little confused as to what time I am in now. It takes a moment to become used to seeing time like a human again, instead of a parent. But when I adjust, my heart leaps in my chest at the thought of so much time ahead. 8 years are nothing. I lie there for a while longer, catching my breath, and then just staring at the starry sky through the opening in the ceiling. Silently, I thank the parents for finally showing me what the point of everything is. With a shaky sigh, I get to my feet, wanting to get back to Amicus's room, wanting to tell him everything, but I know I can't. I wonder if they let him see it as well. I hope so. I take a deep breath, feeling the cool, fragrant night air against my wet face. I stand there for a moment, just happy to be alive. I'm so lost in this euphoria, that I barely notice footsteps up the hall. Then voices, laughing and talking.
Jesus. That was great.
What just happened? I'm sorry. If it wasn't the Steve Urkel laugh, I don't think it was a Cassius laugh.
Jesus.
You got to do the Steve Urkel laugh for Cassius. I do
Oh
decree
my
this.
god. It was so
As my power of mod, I demand a Cassius Steve Urkel
I
laugh.
have never heard that laugh before.
I'm gonna ban you just for that.
Okay. Well,
Actually crying.
thank you all for having me.
It was fun while it lasted, but just sometimes you just have to go to the end.
Wait, Chris, are you not streaming? You're not streaming on Twitch? No, I can't. No!
crazy.
No. It's okay. I brought this on myself.
I can't clip it. No.
The memory will go on in our hearts forever.
No, I'm so sorry. Okay, I literally. Nicole, was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't that cat. It was me.
That fucking.
Just like, can I do that?
Yeah.
You know we have to commission Haps to draw Cassius as Steve Urkel now.
His commissions are open.
You want to take him for Adastra character, sadly. I tried.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness. Oh, it's so
Hang on,
fucking perfect.
I'll add him in Adastra chat. Hang on.
Please. Wait, shouldn't we add him here? He should join in the fun.
No, we don't need to bother him.
It's 10 o'clock over
I'm
there.
not-
He's not doing shit.
He's probably lying, in all honesty. The boy is Zazad. Chris, you're not streaming on Twitch.
I'm not streaming on Twitch. I hit the start
No.
recording button, unfortunately.
Oh no.
But it's
Well, if
fine.
you're-
I'll upload it.
Yeah, if it's recording, it should be
I need to
salvageable.
clip that and
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all.
That's a once in a lifetime laugh. I don't think the cow's gonna be able to copy it.
It is perfectly clippable and salvageable. So
Excellent.